But I mean, Dorian Etheridge is locked down that middle linebacker spot. I think C.J. Avery's a guy that is probably hammered down a spot. But then, I mean, you hear a lot about Yasser Abdullah.
Give me his bio.
C.J. Avery?
Yes.
I mean, C.J. Avery was a kid, a 4-star kid coming out of high school. He was also an Under Armour All-American. I mean, I know Wisconsin, a few places really wanted him as a safety. That's a typical guy Bobby brings in and puts into,
you take the speed and you try to bulk him up. And the unfortunate thing is you don't have the same amount of time with your 4 stars like Alabama does.
Right.
You don't have enough time to take a 4'3" guy and put another 35 pounds on him.
Right. Yeah.
Turn him into a savage.
Sure. I mean, and I think he's a kid. I like P.J. Blue. P.J. Blue is a kid that he was coming out of high school, a Georgia kid, another 4-star kid.
Right.
Has come in as a safety. I think is going to be bulked up, or has bulked up. He's been injury. He's had injuries almost every year, but I mean, I love his game when he's healthy. I think you're going to see him he'll get some run. A freshman, Yasser Abdullah.
Does that make you uncomfortable saying there's so many people that may get run, or do you say, okay, it'll work itself out?
No, that's the year. Yeah, no, you'll find out who the playmakers are. I mean,
you can't find out against Alabama. You think we'll find out in these scrimmages?
And that may be why you lose the game against Alabama, because you're finding out a lot of things. I mean, that's how it is. I mean, it's why you lost against Auburn.
And we are still outside analysts. You know what's funny about that?
Yeah.
I will go back. Just because you brought up Auburn, right?
Okay.
How about this? We'll go to NCAA, ACC. We'll go to Louisville, right?
Yeah.
And what year are we talking?
I mean, it was, 2 years ago?
So we're talking 16.
3 years ago, I guess.
Okay, 16. You started, that year you started with Charlotte. It was the year before that, right?
Before that, yeah.
Okay, so that's 15.
Yeah.
Okay, now just what you said, I was looking at that actually just this morning.
Well, because what sucks about it, before you get into that, is it feels like you caught Auburn on that weird transition year, and it feels like you're catching Bama on that weird. It's why you'll bust Notre Dame next year in the opener, but you feel like you're in that like we may lose because
you got all this talent. You got to get.
You found it out in the fourth quarter.
Auburn, 31-24.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
And everybody believes that's one of those games, and I hate this statement, but it's one of those games where you're like, if we had 2 more minutes, we win that game. And
don't we sound like so revisionist loser saying that?
I know. I hate that statement. I
hate it. But it was, if you
that's one of these.
You saw the game. You realized Lamar was unguardable later on in the game. If Lamar, we love Reggie.
Devontae Pete was out there making plays.
If Lamar starts that game, if he goes through preseason as the quarterback,
you win.
Do you not think about it? Lamar Jackson made his debut against another SEC opponent that way. Think about this. That year, and this is the team. This is development of this team. Auburn 31-24, and you're rolling in that fourth quarter.
Yep.
Right? Then you come home with a quarterback controversy and lose 34-31 to Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you can't tell me that that's like the coaches did, no, you have to figure out if Lamar can play.
And nobody realized how good that Houston team was.
Right.
Yeah, that was that year where they kind of took off.
Right, and they ended up in the top 20, like that. Okay, right?
Uh-huh.
You lose. That's Auburn #1.
Yeah.
Houston, quarterback controversy, underrated Houston.
Yeah.
Clemson.
Yeah. Who went to the national championship game.
Right.
Yeah.
2017 is your final score against Houston. Kick.
Mm-hmm.
OT.
Yeah. 2 kicks, actually.
Then you bust Sanford. Then you bust the Wolfpack.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Florida State, you lost 41-21.
That was the one game, man, Florida State really got you. But that was the third quarter game where you had the Dalvin Cook went off. You had my man
Heisman Trophy-esque Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, right.
Rolling and caught you at game 6. Game 6, game 7.
Yeah.
They caught you. You eke out Boston College. We talked about Boston College this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all don't realize Boston College is putting these guys, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They're putting these guys in the league. They're putting, Boston College has some players. They don't have a consistent team and a program being built up, but they can get you.
Right.
You eke by Wake Forest 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going down the schedule for a reason. I just want you to know what your program is doing, because we have these conversations and we, you know what we do? We let 3 games define everything, right? Oh, that year we lost to Auburn. Don't you say it? You say the Auburn year.
Yeah.
We sucked the Auburn year. You caught Clemson game 3. You lost by 3 points. You caught Florida State two games later, right? You busted, but you go 1-1-1-1-1. You lost to that Pittsburgh team.
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh team to end up beating Clemson the next year or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You bust the Wildcats, right? But now here's the point. You go from those early games to now these last games. I mean, you're putting up numbers. Now you start 41, 38, 45. Think about it. Like 34. You start putting up good numbers towards the end. Now Lamar Jackson's your quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Now you go bust Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Okay. That was your 16 year,
mm-hmm.
right? And if you compare that to Clemson's year,
yeah,
you know what you'll see? Close game,
yeah,
tight game. They're in the championship.
Yeah.
The same year that you lose by 3 points.
Yeah.
Clemson's in the championship.
Mm-hmm.
You're not that far off from being, you know what I'm saying? Like, yes, you take your losses. You haven't been traditionally Clemson.
Right.
I feel like I'm beating that one into people's, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if Clemson is rising,
yeah,
you're not taking a step back. Like, you can be in their back pocket,
yeah,
and
sure.
wait for them to lose that defensive coordinator. If Clemson loses that defensive coordinator,
yeah, which they're paying a ton of money right
he's
now.
the highest paid defensive coordinator in the country.
Yeah,
this is what cannibalizes college football programs on the come up. When you're Louisville and you start thinking that you're better than what you are, you lose your coordinator that's been killing it.
Right.
I'll go back over the numbers. The next year, Lamar's on the run. Go look at some of them those interception and numbers. The defense broke down late season.
Yeah.
Right? But if you look at those numbers, you see a lot of 10s, a lot of 7s,
mm-hmm.
a lot of 13s. You forget. Sermon was getting those picks.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Grantham. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Sermons, they didn't get anything. Yeah. Yeah, Sermon didn't get nothing. But scored on. Yeah. Over and over and over again.
Over and over and over again. But you get my point. Like, this is what happens. Let's go back a year.
Okay.
Be honest. After the Sermon year, you'd give anything to go Grantham 2.0.
Sure, yeah.
Right now, let's ignore that we even know who Van Gorder is.
Okay.
You don't know Van Gorder. I haven't heard anything about this defense or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Would you take Grantham 2.0 right now?
Probably. I mean, he got the ball back. And that's what
all
I want.
The time.
That's all I need. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And this is not so much rhetorical.
Mm-hmm.
He had turnovers and blitzes coming from every direction. That 3 games,
mm-hmm.
and Louisville thinking we're better than, because I agree. I agree with the attitude of being mad at him.
Yeah.
But I don't agree with the attitude of he got to go.
Right.
At the time, I was pissed enough that I would have packed his bag.
After that Kentucky game, we were all like, dude, I cannot see you on my sideline again.
But here's the problem.
Yeah.
Here's where management has to say, okay, people, that sucked. He's one of the best defensive coordinators. he did not become the guy who turned down the Raiders
Yeah.
to the crappiest defensive coordinator in the last 3 games.
Yeah.
Because the last 3 games were the only times he sucked.
Yeah.
So think about that. 9 games, basically he was crushing it. 8, 9 games. That year he's crushing it.
Yeah. That's fair.
Houston, Kentucky, who was it? LSU?
Yeah, LSU. Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. That Kentucky game's
It was bad, dude. It was really bad. Like,
look, I'm sitting here making a point
it's
about
the same
it.
freaking route, man.
But you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, okay. College program on the come up cannot bail on their good coaches like they are Alabama.
I agree.
They cannibalize themselves because you catch a defensive coordinator or some kind of coordinator before they get locked in, and that's what stops Clemson's and Florida State's from becoming perennial Michigan, Ohio State. You know what I'm saying? Because they buy out your best coordinators.
Yes.
Texas buys out your guy.
Yes.
Right before you hit, right before you capitalize on a real championship run.
Well, Clemson had seen this happen before. They seen it happen with Chad Morris. We paid him a ton of money, but it still wasn't enough. He took a head coaching job. So with Venables, they are paying him They're paying him head coach money.
And you lose, and then you mess around, and if you're Louisville, let your boy get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Let him get out of here. People love saying, "Oh, this guy sucks and that guy sucks." Go look at the details of his track record before you start. Yeah, LD
Scott. Yeah, I mean, who's been named multiple times one of the top recruiters in the South right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Start complaining about him.
Mm-hmm.
Let him sneak out of here. You'll spend the next 5 years of your life saying, "Why can't we get any of those 5-star Miami kids?"
Mm-hmm. Or the kids out of Georgia. I mean, that's where he's real big in Georgia.
I mean, you get to a point.
Yeah. He's in the zone. Trying to go home. Brian's here all day. He ain't trying to go home.
Brian's here all day.
I don't care where y'all trying to go.
I don't know what y'all doing, man. I'm doing my thing. People, I feel like we're getting warmed up, man. I feel like our days are getting warmed up. Steve, you're doing a great job breaking down the players. I'm kind of carrying that theme from other programs. Yeah, of course, you know what I'm talking about. Speaking of other programs, AJ Johnson, man, I'm happy for you, bro. You got a shot with the Broncos. It's a tough road. Bill at Scorns and Sons Collision Center, 3933 Bardstown Road, 12111 Shelbyville Road. This traffic's hectic, man. I know you got some bumps and bruises on your car. Go to Bill at Scorns and Sons Collision Center. Globe Auto Sales. They're making my man Steve happy on a daily basis.
Very happy.
Jill Blessinger, Keller Williams, Becky Blamo, Caliber Home Loans, Windows Plus, all the partners. You want to partner up with us? Give us a call. DFH, people. It's a great time to buy a new train comfort system from DFH. This month only, you can get a 15-month special financing on qualified train comfort systems. It's hard to stop strain, so call DFH 968-6222 or look them up online at dfhcompany.com. Visit dfhcompany.com for complete program eligibility, dates, details, and restrictions subject to credit approval. 8150-939 is always the number. 3831-939 is always the text line. 10 to 12 is always the time. 939.